Take a deep breath. Feel the air move through your chest, your lungs expanding, your heartbeat steady beneath it. Now imagine this. What if your mind could feel stronger, clearer, more resilient, the same way your body does after a good workout? Welcome to the Mind Gym, a place where mental fitness is trained, not just talked about, where focus, calm, creativity, and resilience are not traits you're born with, they're muscles you can build. We live in a world obsessed with physical health. We track steps, count calories, build muscle, sculpt our bodies. But while we train our biceps and abs, our minds often go untrained, reactive, distracted, restless. The irony. The quality of your life depends far more on the strength of your mind than the shape of your body. So what does it mean to train your mind? And how do we turn mental health from something passive, something we hope for, into something we actively train for? Let's start with a simple truth. Your brain is not fixed. It's not a static organ. It's a living, changing system that reshapes itself every moment of your life. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to experience, focus, and repetition. Every thought you think strengthens a network of neurons. Every emotion you repeat trains your chemistry. And every time you focus your attention, you sculpt the architecture of your own mind. Psychologist Donald Hebb famously said, "Neurons that fire together, wire together." Which means the more often you enter a mental state, like calm, gratitude, focus, or courage, the more that state becomes your default. The Mind Gym is about doing that deliberately. It's not therapy. It's not self-help fluff. It's a practical science, training your mind to perform, recover, and evolve the same way you train your body. Think about the gym. You don't go once and expect instant transformation. You go consistently, pushing yourself in small, structured ways. Over time, your body adapts, muscles grow, endurance increases, energy rises. The same law applies to the mind. Mental strength doesn't come from avoiding stress or negativity. It comes from facing them and training your response. In neuroscience, this is called stress inoculation, the process of exposing yourself to manageable challenges so your brain learns how to recover faster each time. It's the mental version of lifting weights: discomfort, recovery, growth. In the 1990s, psychologist Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin began studying the brains of monks who had meditated for decades. He found that their left prefrontal cortex, the region linked to happiness and resilience, was far more active than average. Their amygdala, the alarm center for fear and anxiety, was quieter. Through years of mental training, they had reshaped their neural wiring for calm and clarity. What physical exercise does for the body, mental training does for the brain. But the Mind Gym isn't just about meditation. It's about building a complete mental fitness routine. And like any fitness plan, it includes multiple pillars: focus, emotional regulation, mindset, and recovery. Let's start with focus, the foundation of all mental strength. In the modern world, attention is the new currency. Every app, every notification, every dopamine hit from your phone competes for it. When your attention is scattered, your energy follows. But when your attention is trained, you gain control over your experience. Neuroscientist Amishi Jha from the University of Miami calls attention the brain's flashlight. Where you point it determines what you feel, remember, and act on. Jha's research with soldiers and athletes shows that mindfulness training, just 12 minutes a day, can increase focus and reduce stress reactivity by over 30%. That's not magic. That's muscle. Focus can be trained. Then there's emotional regulation, the ability to stay steady when life shakes you. Psychologist Feldman Barrett explains that emotions aren't fixed reactions, they're constructed experiences. They're predictions your brain makes based on context and memory. When you learn to see emotions as information rather than identity, you gain control. You stop being dragged by them and start directing them. In the Mind Gym, emotional regulation isn't suppression, it's mastery. It's learning to breathe through the surge, name the feeling, and choose your next action consciously. Another key muscle is mindset, the lens through which you interpret the world. Carol Dweck at Stanford University discovered that people with a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can improve with effort, outperform those with a fixed mindset in nearly every area of life. Why? Because they treat challenges as opportunities to grow, not threats to their identity. Every failure becomes a rep. Every setback becomes resistance training. At the Mind Gym, the goal isn't to avoid failure. It's to develop antifragility, the ability to get stronger through stress, like a muscle that tears and repairs. And just like physical fitness, mental fitness requires recovery. Your mind, like your body, needs cycles of rest and repair. Sleep is mental recovery. So is solitude. So is time in nature. When you give your nervous system time to reset, creativity increases, problem-solving sharpens, and your emotional threshold widens. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman often reminds us, you can't learn or grow without recovery. Rest is not the absence of training, it's part of the training. In the Mind Gym, everything is interconnected: mind, body, breath, and behavior. Your physiology shapes your psychology. Your posture, your breathing, even your facial expressions send constant feedback to your brain about your emotional state. When you slouch, your brain reads fatigue. When you stand tall and breathe deeply, it registers confidence. This is called the embodied mind, the idea that the body and brain are one continuous system. By changing the signals you send through the body, you can change your mental state. Power posing, slow breathing, gratitude journaling, deliberate cold exposure, these are all mental reps, training the nervous system to adapt under pressure. The Mind Gym is not about perfection. It's about practice. Every rep counts, every time you catch yourself before reacting, every moment you choose focus over distraction, every breath you take instead of spiraling. These small, invisible reps compound over time. And just like with physical fitness, consistency beats intensity. You don't need an hour a day to transform your mind. 5 minutes of presence, 5 conscious breaths, 5 seconds of gratitude, that's training. That's building the muscle of awareness, one rep at a time. When you think about it, your brain is the most advanced gym in existence. 86 billion neurons, each one capable of forming thousands of connections, constantly reshaping themselves in response to your thoughts, habits, and environment. Every time you learn, reflect, or adapt, your brain rewires itself. You are literally building yourself from the inside out. But just like the body, if you don't use it, you lose it. Neglect your mental fitness and your attention weakens, your stress tolerance drops, your creativity shrinks. But train it and your world expands, you think sharper, you feel calmer, you recover faster. You become more adaptable, compassionate, and resilient. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. That's what it means to train your mind. Not to escape the world, but to move through it with awareness and strength. Not to suppress emotion, but to integrate it skillfully. Not to control every outcome, but to master your inner response to whatever comes. In ancient philosophy, the Stoics trained their minds daily, rehearsing challenges, visualizing setbacks, strengthening their emotional muscles through deliberate reflection. In Buddhism, meditation was the ultimate mental discipline, the art of observing thought without being enslaved by it. Today, neuroscience and psychology have validated what those traditions always knew: that the mind, when trained, becomes your greatest source of freedom. So what does the Mind Gym look like in daily life? It might start with a morning focus warm-up, a few minutes of breathwork or journaling. It might continue with mental endurance training, staying present in a stressful meeting or during discomfort. It might end with recovery, gratitude reflection, nature, sleep. Every day becomes a training session, not for your body, but for your consciousness. Over time, this practice builds what I call mental strength, the ability to stay calm under pressure, kind under stress, and clear under chaos. That's true fitness, and the beauty is anyone can start. You don't need special equipment or hours of free time or a retreat in the mountains. All you need is willingness and awareness. Awareness is the first rep. Willingness is the second. Consistency builds the rest. In the Mind Gym, progress isn't measured in pounds or miles. It's measured in moments of presence, in the gap between reaction and response, in how quickly you recover after being knocked off balance, and in how often you choose consciousness over autopilot. So let me ask you, What would your life look like if you trained your mind as seriously as you train your body? If you lifted mental weights daily, patience, focus, gratitude, courage. If you practiced letting go the same way you practice form in the gym, you'd become unstoppable, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. The mind gym isn't a place, it's a practice. It's every breath, every thought, every moment you choose awareness over anxiety. It's the evolution of mental fitness, the science of training consciousness. Your mind is the gym. Your life is the workout, and your awareness is the muscle. So as you finish this session, take one more deep breath. Inhale strength, exhale resistance. Remember, you are the trainer of your own mind. You can sculpt focus. You can build calm. You can strengthen gratitude. You can train peace. And with each conscious repetition, you grow. This is the mind gym. Train your mind. Strengthen your life. And if this episode inspired you to start your own mental training, support the Mind Gym by liking this video, sharing it with someone who wants to grow, and subscribing for weekly sessions in science-based mental fitness. Together, we're building stronger minds, one thought, one breath, one rep at a time. Thank you for training today. See you in the next session.